All right, so I just wanted to show you a test of some Lossy DNG testing that I've done. I shot the same scene on a tripod, and each row is the same exposure. On the left, we have it's actually a Lossy RAW file direct from a Sony A7R4, then a Lossy DNG, and then a JPEG. This is ISO 100. And then they're all shot at ISO 100, but underexposed. The next row is underexposed by 1 stop, 2 stops, 3 stops, 4 stops, and 5 stops. So the effective ISOs here would be 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600, 3200. All right. So for one, just for giggles, we're going to open up the appropriate amount for each row. So this is plus 1 stop. So we're just going to open up 1 stop. Second row, 2 stops. All right. Third row, 3 stops. 1, 2, 3. Fourth row, 4 stops. Okay. And last row, 5 stops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So in theory, it's going to take a while for the preview to line up. There we go. The raw files should look quite similar from the Sony raw file at ISO 100 now to the Lossy DNG at effective ISO 3200, the underexposed that was opened up 5 stops. We can just compare those two for giggles right now. Zoom and all right. So the only major difference we should see here would be it's the dynamic range should be slightly less with the underexposed versions, and the most obvious thing is going to be the noise. So it's ISO 3200 worth of noise, but otherwise the colors look a little bit different. And I don't know if that's just because it's on auto color or not, but effectively otherwise, like the density and everything looks virtually the same, even though these are two completely different file types and with completely different exposures. Okay, so that's one thing I want to look at. The other, okay, so we have, we're going to look at the file sizes. So at ISO 100, it's properly exposed. How big is the Lossy raw file from the Sony? How big is the DNG, the Lossy DNG from conversion from Adobe, and the JPEG? So, I've been a big proponent of the Lossy DNGs for the kind of work that I like doing, because let's go show in folder here. Okay, so this is the out of camera file. This is the Lossy DNG, and this is the JPEG. So the Lossy DNG, even though it has a lot more usable data, like you can open up or include lost highlights or shadows that would be not seen in the JPEG, it is in the DNG almost identical as the raw file. I actually can't usually find a difference, so let's just for giggles do that right now. So we're going to compare the at ISO 100 properly exposed ARW versus Lossy DNG, and so zoom, compare. All right, so there we go. Looking at these two here, and I don't know. I'm really not feeling like there's any useful information I'm missing in the Lossy DNG, despite the fact that the compression rate is 7. It's almost, it's like nearly a tenth the size. It's like 12% the size of the other file. So on your hard drive, it's going to save a ton of space if you want to upload it to a cloud storage or to a client or whatever. There you go. Okay, so there's that. All right, so, and then let's check out the file sizes here. Okay, so we have show and finder. So this is the Lossy DNG that's 5 stops underexposed. It's 18 megabytes. It's still double or triple the size of the ISO 100 properly exposed file. but it's still a third the file size of the in-camera RAW file. And in this case now, the JPEG file has a lot, it's a lot smaller. It has a lot less information in it, though. It's just not very useful. If you look at this file, it's going to be, the shadows are going to just be completely lost and whatnot. And also, it's got some really nasty banding in it and stuff too. So that looks awful. So that would not be a keeper, but this is just for an experiment. So there you have it. Lossy DNGs are an amazing thing, and you can get away with a ridiculous amount of underexposure in both in-camera RAW files and Lossy DNGs. Thanks for watching.